Hey everyone, welcome back to another Zwift Racing League Recon video. In this video, I'm going to be going over all the details for Race 4 of Round 3 of Zwift Racing League. And we are now 2/3 of the way through this round, and we're approaching those finals that are coming up next. So, let's dive into this video and enjoy. Alright, so in terms of route details, this is going to be 2 laps of neon flats for all categories, so it won't be like last time where it's different distances depending on the category you race in, and it will be a shorter and flatter course, so it's, I'd say, a sprinter's course, so sprinters are going to have lots of opportunities to grab some points. And it's going to be, as I said, 2 laps of neon flats in McCurry Islands. That's going to amount to 29.7 kilometers or 18.5 miles, and then 144.3 meters of elevation gain or 473 feet of elevation gain. And then in terms of power-ups in play, we've got the Aero Boost, Drafting Boost, and Ghost Boost. And the Aero Boost is going to be the most effective because it does make you more aerodynamic, and that's always going to make you a lot faster in Zwift. So that's going to be 40% of the power-ups. So you've actually got a higher chance of getting the Aero Boost than the other power-ups. And then in terms of FAL and FTS segments, we've got the Tower Forward Sprint 2 times, 1 time for each lap. The Castle Park Forward Sprint, that's going to be 4 times because you go over that sprint twice each lap. And then the Alley Forward Sprint is going to be twice, once on each lap. That's all I got for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit a like. So in terms of bike choice, the best bike is going to be the Specialized Fench S-Works because this is a pretty much pan-flat course, so the lightweight setups are not really going to do anything. And then in terms of coolest ride though, I think that the Tron bike will look amazing because it is in Neokyo, which is a neon city, so it looks really vibrant with the Tron bike. So that just about wraps it up. Most aeroframe is going to be the fastest, so back to the Recon. So the start of this race will likely not be quite as chaotic as some other races because it is a pretty flat start, so riders are going to settle in pretty quickly, but that is going to be good because the first sprint comes really quickly, and you really want to be prepared for this one because this is likely going to blow up the group, and if you get caught off guard, you might be dropped for the rest of the race, so really just make sure you hold on this sprint. The Tower Sprint is around a 15 to 20 second sprint at 0.3 kilometers, so it's going to be a pretty fast and flat sprint, and at this point riders will not have any power-ups, so it's just going to be an all-out sprint without power-ups, whereas for the rest of them, you'll likely have a power-up if you do save it at that arch. So the first opportunity for a power-up is also at this arch, so you will get one of the 3 power-ups that are being offered at this arch, so be sure to save it. Don't immediately use it unless you are feeling like you are dropped already and you're really needing to use that power-up to catch back up and stay in the race for the rest of the race. After that, we've got a long flat stretch where riders will have time to just chill and get ready for the next sprints that are coming up soon. So really just use this flat section as an opportunity to gather yourself and get yourself ready for the next few sprints. Think about what you're going to do, where you're going to sprint from, and stuff like that. I wouldn't expect to see that many breakaways, but it is possible in the higher categories that we could see some riders try to go long for that next sprint. So getting close to the 3 mile or 5 kilometer mark, there is going to be some small risers that kind of lead into the next sprint, which is the alley sprint, and that sprint is going to be slightly longer, but I don't expect riders to go too hard on these small inclines. We could see riders start to sprint from there to go for a longer sprint, but I say that the alley sprint is going to be one of the longer sprints at around 20 to 25 seconds for most riders, depending on the category riders are in. After that, another long stretch of flat bits, and this I'd say is a shorter stretch than the other one because you just go through a few small rollers as you get into the Castle Park area, and then you'll hit the next sprint, which is the Castle Park Sprint. Castle Park Sprint is the shortest sprint of the day at around 10 to 15 seconds towards the 10-second area, depending on what category you're in, because the draft will be high and is actually a slight descent. So you can see that solo I got 15 seconds, which means that almost all categories will get 15 seconds or faster. After this is one of the longest stretches of flat parts, and this is going to take you through the harbor area, which is going to be a pretty slow area, I'd say, and this is a chance for riders who are dropped to catch back up, because I think the group will be playing kind of cat and mouse. Nobody will want to pull because it's really not going to do anything later on in the race, unless you are going for a solo breakaway or a team coordinated breakaway. Now, this flat stretch of around 1.7 miles or around 3 kilometers is going to be a nice flat bit, nice time to recover and enjoy that draft, but it is going to lead you into the next sprint, and that is the Castle Park Sprint again. So you're going to be doing the Castle Park Sprint a second time in this lap, so be sure to just be ready for this. Don't get caught off guard. As soon as you make that turn, you know that the sprint is coming soon. Get in the right gear and really just get into that mindset of you're going to need to sprint as hard as possible, because this is getting close to the end of the lap, and if you want to have any shot at the win, you're going to have to stick with these riders for the finish. So as I said earlier, this is a very short sprint, so just have a short burst of power and you should be all good to go, and you'll be able to stick with the group just fine. After this, you'll get your last power up of the race, so be sure to really hold on to that power up and do your best to avoid using it unless there really is a situation where you really have to use a power up or else you're going to get dropped. So coming into this, 1.5 miles out from the finish, or around 2.5 kilometers, I think. And this is just the area that is like just red paved roads. So just know that that is the finishing stretch. And that's how most of the final mile will look. And that will bring you to the arcade. And the arcade is a really important part of this course, because the arcade is where we could see a lot of potential attacks, because I've seen races on this course on like Sprinter's Playground, for example. It uses the same finish, and we've seen riders go early in the arcade to kind of just disguise themselves, because people can't really see you when you are in that dark area. Other than that, just give it your all, and don't forget to keep pedaling until you cross the line, because I've seen so many races here where riders just get passed right on the line, and it's just super frustrating when you're in first or second place. That's all I've got for this video, so thank you all for watching, and best of luck on this race. Have fun out there, ride on, and see you all next time.